I tried to hold up all of the books for a photo and it's not going well. Hi everybody, I hope that you're all doing really well. So first things first, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody. This is the first video that I am filming since I uploaded my booktube newbie tag, and I just wanted to say thank you for all of the people who left such lovely comments. Just getting those comments made the anxiety that I had over uploading onto YouTube for the first time just dissipate completely. So thank you so much, and hopefully don't let you down and I can post some more videos. So I'm a pretty ruthless declutterer. I have absolutely no problem getting rid of anything in my life if I don't think it is serving any sort of purpose or if I don't like it. However, the big exception to that for me is definitely books. I had the same tiny little bookcase from the age of 0 to the age of 19 when I got these bookcases behind me, and so I had a lot of experience of having to get rid of books, and I always hated the process of having to choose what books I had to get rid of. I think the history student in me just really likes an archive. I really love the idea of having my life in books in one big massive library, and that was always regardless of whether or not I actually enjoyed said book. I just wanted them on my shelves as an archive of my reading. However, I think with lockdown happening, like a lot of people, I'm spending so much time in my home and noticing a lot more of things that are in my house, well, in my room at least, that are just not bringing any value. Things that are just taking up too much space. And so I came across quite a few books that I thought, you know what, they need to go. They're not reflective particularly of the kind of books that I like to read. I had meh feelings about them, and you know, I could use that space for other books that I really do enjoy in the future. So I have a little pile here which I will be donating to a charity shop once they reopen, or maybe to the church fair, I don't know. Just, these will not be getting thrown away, they will be going to a good home. Like I say, I don't think any of these are particularly bad books. Actually, one of them I wasn't too keen on, but no, none of them are terrible books. They're just not really quite to my taste, or I just had kind of meh feelings about them. The first book that I will be passing on is Madame Doubtfire by Anne Fine. Now, I'm a massive fan of the Mrs. Doubtfire movie, and we've had this in my home for quite a long time, that I always thought eventually when I pick this up I'm going to absolutely love it. I love the film with Robin Williams in so much. However, yeah, I just found this to be a bit of a meh reading experience. So I think in the future, if I want to get the story of Mrs. Doubtfire, I'll just go to the movie. The next few books that I'll be getting rid of are actually part of a series. It is this collection of books which make up the Penguin Tube line, I think they're called. It's the Penguin Line series actually, and this was just a little collection of books that Penguin came out which are generally to do with the London Underground. So each book is dedicated to a particular line. So we have one for the Piccadilly line, one for the Waterloo and City line, and one for the Circle line. I think I found these in a charity shop with the intention that I was going to eventually get to all of them, but I read these 3 and didn't find them anything special, so I'm not going to be collecting this series, and I think better to send them to a good home. I then have a couple of books that I picked up when I was doing work experience at Icon Books, which is a non-fiction publisher down in London. When I was down there, it was my last day, and they just told me, yeah, just pick up whatever books you want, just take as many as you want, and I don't think they realised quite how literally I would take that. I just absolutely filled my bags with so many books that I was just vaguely interested in, and out of those books also included We Have a Deal by Natalie Reynolds and 30-Second Economics. This is part of one of their series where they have like bite-sized introductions to different topics, and I know zero about economics, so I thought, yeah, let's give this a try. So yeah, 2 quite businessy economics related books, which is just not something I'm very interested in. I do have other books from Icon that I did really enjoy, so it's not like I'm losing the memory, an object that has a memory of that experience, so I can pass these on to somebody who'll be more interested in business and economics. On a similar theme to books that I picked up whilst doing work experience, I also have these 2 books that I picked up when I did work experience at Penguin Random House, and they're both on kind of like the mystery thriller end, which is just not really my bag at all. I've got Syndrome E by Frank Thillier, and This Is What We Do by Tom Hanson. And I don't really remember too much about either of these. I remember really disliking this one though, so I think not worth it, just pass it on. I then have this little anthology called Spring, so all different pieces of writing that are related to springtime. I think I picked this up because I'm such a big fan of Christmas related books. I have like a little shelf up there, you can't see it at all, which is just full of Christmas books, and I thought, oh, if I like this, then I can do the same thing for all the different seasons. But as it turns out, no, I just like Christmas. I don't really care about nature writing too much outside of Christmas. So I will pass this on, and somebody who really likes springtime will really love this. And also it is stunning, like look how pretty that is. Can go to a better home though. Have a little pile of books here that is just labelled under books I picked up because they were shortlisted for literary prizes. So we have Frankenstein in Baghdad by Ahmed Sawadi, The Sellout by Paul Beatty, and Do Not Say We Have Nothing by Madeline Thien. Once again, these are not bad books at all. They were all, I think, shortlisted for the Man Booker or the Man Booker International, so clearly some other people really, really love them, but they were just books that I read and thought, nah, not for me. So I'll send them to a better home. Next I have the Lola Quartet by Emily St. John Mandel. I picked this up because I really enjoyed Station 11, which is her more popular book that she's written. It's a mystery which follows a group of musicians and just didn't quite do it for me in the same way that the Station 11 did. So I'll pass it along to someone who will enjoy it a lot more. I'll be passing along Love in the Time of Global Warming by Francesca Lia Block. This was billed as a modern reimagining of Homer's Odyssey, which is a book that I studied very intensely, so I was quite excited to pick this up and see what it was like, but I just found the writing style to be a little bit immature for me. I just couldn't really get into it, so pass it on. I then have The Hourglass Factory by Lucy Ribchester. I believe this is set either end of the 19th century or turn of the 20th century when a trapeze artist goes missing in London, and then there is this female journalist investigator who goes searching for the case. I'd seen this, I think, on Carrie Hope Fletcher's Instagram page and was like, oh, that must be interesting, buy it, and then read it and was not really that enamoured, and it seems, going back onto Goodreads, that not many people like this anyway, so I should have done more research before I picked this up. And then the last book that I'll be getting rid of is Amanda Lovelace's The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one. I read The Princess Saves Herself in this one a few years ago and thought it was okay. I saw this one in a Tesco and you could just donate £1 to get a book. Read it and just did not like it. It was a 1-star read for me. So I am going to keep the first of her poetry collection, but I don't need to keep this. This is nah. So yeah, just a tiny little unhaul for today. These books will all be going to much better homes, and yeah, will hopefully save a little bit more space on my shelves for many more books that I'm going to enjoy. I mean, just look. I now have a whole shelf here that is free. So it was a success, I think. Anyway, that is it for today. I hope that you're all having a fantastic, fantastic day. Do comment down below if you have any thoughts about any of the books that I got rid of. Are you doing any decluttering whilst you're in lockdown? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. All right, thanks. Bye.